Yo, what's good if you haven't known me, I'm 5 guys. Kick-Ass is a peak superhero movie. Honestly, I don't know about y'all. I haven't seen Kick-Ass in a long time. I remember, I think it was on Netflix or something. Watched it a long time ago. But I haven't really indulged ever since. So let's see what bro got to say. Let's see if he like makes us feel like this is a peak superhero movie. Because I mean, he bro could just be talking.
Alright, the other day, I decided to rewatch one of my favorite superhero movies, Kick-Ass.
Woo!
As always, I enjoyed it, so I'm making a video on it. The movie opens up with our main character, Dave. Dave is kind of a dweeb. He's never had a girlfriend, he sucks at sports, he gets bullied in school, he spends most of his days cranking hog, and his mom just
That
randomly
sucks,
one
bro.
day.
Like I ain't gonna lie, bro. That shit okay, like be so bad, bro. Like I mean, bro, whoever it is happening to, bro, like I pray you get out of that shit. I ain't gonna lie, gang. Not being good at sports and being a little bit of a dweeb. Get into trading or something, bro. Become a millionaire.
A while back. So, yeah, his life is kind of shitty.
You know what?
But
Dude,
one day while at a
try
comic
it.
store,
Do
he has a
something, bro.
thought.
How come nobody's ever tried to be a superhero?
His friend on the left, Marty, is like, probably because it's impossible, and if anyone tried, they'd get stomped out in like a day. And his friend on the right, Todd, says no one has superpowers, so that's why. Fair enough. They then see one of
Makes
their
sense.
rich classmates, Christy and Miko, come in, and they think if they made friends with him, then they'd probably be cool at school. But his bodyguards tell him to fuck off, so that was that. After leaving the store, they almost immediately get robbed by two dudes, and Dave looks over and sees some dude in the window just watching this all go down. But this is it. This is the last straw for Dave, so he goes home that night and orders his first superhero suit. We then cut to Frankie's Lumber. Mob
Nigga,
boss
what the fuck does he think he's gonna do with that? Like, yo, why do niggas think they put on a costume and they suddenly change, bro? You're not Drake, gang. You put on a beard, some brazen, you're not Drake, gang. Hey, niggas think they put on a costume and then they suddenly change, bro.
Frank D'Amico
That
is
ain't
interrogating
true.
one of his men because the man says a guy in a super suit
Imagine a nigga-
stomped out everyone he was with and stole Frankie's blow. And they're like, so you're saying Batman did this?
I didn't say like Batman. I never said Batman.
But Frank doesn't believe any of this nonsense, so they deal with him, and then we see that
Nigga,
Chris is
that shit
actually
is
Frank's son.
bullshit.
We then cut to Dave. He's got his suit, so he throws it on, and as soon as he started shadowboxing, I knew Buddy was going to get his ass kicked first day on the job. Elsewhere, we see a man with his daughter, and they're testing out her bulletproof vest. The girl, Mindy, is
Oh,
like a
I thought this
tamer,
nigga just
less-
unalive. I thought this. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm tired of paying for you, bro.
I knew Buddy was gonna
Fuck
get
the
his ass
extra
kicked
food,
first day
nigga.
on the
Get
job.
the fuck out.
Elsewhere, we see a man with his daughter, and they're
Best
testing out
actor
her
ever,
bulletproof
bro.
vest. The girl,
Jim
Mindy,
Carrey, best
is like
actor
a
ever.
tamer, less rude, female version
Personally.
of Damian Wayne, or at least
One of
that's
my
the vibe that I
favorites.
get. Back in the city, we see Dave
Behind
doing
Adam
some
Sandler.
super serious hardcore training, and after a while, he decides it's go time.
Yeah, I don't
And
gotta
he attempts to
rewatch
jump
this
from
movie.
one building to another, but comes to his senses before jumping. Probably smart. And then when leaving, he comes across the two dudes who robbed him earlier, who are now breaking into a car. So he turns the corner and decides it's time. He suits up and confronts the two dudes.
With the Tims up.
He gets smacked with a juicer to the lips and then takes out his batons and actually lands a few decent shots, but then proceeds to get stabbed almost immediately. And then when walking away, he gets hit by a car. I told you, as soon as I saw
Yo, I don't, bro, I would quit. I would have been like, yo, guys. Guys. I just want to know what Batman was like. Yo, bro. He got ran over and stabbed all within 5 minutes.
shadowboxing, I knew he was toast.
I don't
He gets
know.
rushed to the
I
hospital,
wanna
and
keep
the
going.
next day, Joe tells Frank that they have a problem. Chris tries to tag along, but Frank tells him to go finish his oatmeal like a good little kid.
Go finish your oatmeal.
Joe tells him that the guy earlier who said a vigilante stole the product might have been telling the truth because the Russian guy said he was sold more blow at half price. We then cut to Damon and Mindy at their place, and Bro's apartment is a whole ass gun store, and since it's Mindy's birthday, what better gift to give an 11-year-old than 2 butterfly knives, I guess. Back at Frank's Lumber,
Exactly.
Joe smacks their Russian friend in an industrial microwave and tries to question him, but while it heats up, he can't hear anything, so before he can even say anything, he pops like a balloon. This movie's wild. We jump to sometime after
What
this
the
and see Dave is filled with steel and nails, but he's recovered and he's doing well. He now also can barely feel any pain. And a girl he likes, Katie, actually chats him up after class and asks him if he wants to go get coffee sometime. But unfortunately, Dave's friend tell him that
Brother, he winning. Honestly, bro, if everything's going that well, I'm honestly just gonna, call it quits right there. It don't need to be doing all that extra shit, gang. Like that bitch talking to me, I don't need to save the world. What I
Katie's
look
only
like?
doing this because there's a rumor going around that Dave is gay. So that's unfortunate. But Dave gets home and starts training to get in shape by doing a few sit-ups and fighting the air. So yeah, he's dialed in and ready to go. He even makes a MySpace account which totally won't get tracked back to him. Then that night, he goes out and finds a flyer for a missing cat and goes around looking for him. He eventually finds him on a billboard thing and climbs up to try to get him down, but he ends up
See,
falling to the floor and a guy trips over him. This guy then starts getting jumped, so Dave grabs his batons and starts swinging trying to help. He actually lands a few good shots, but this doesn't last long before he gets double-legged into the ground and starts getting whooped. He somehow gets up and tells this guy to call the police, but that guy just tells everyone inside that there's a superhero scrapping and he starts recording. Kick-Ass lowkey holds his own though and doesn't get curb stomped, which is crazy,
Yo,
and
bro.
eventually the three dudes just
This is actually hilarious. Like, yo, like how unlucky, like you tell me, yo, call the cops. I ain't no superhero. And then boom. Yeah, this thing is
accept
recording.
defeat and leave once they see everybody recording. The dude who was recording asks him what his name is, and he says Kick-Ass. This video of him fighting eventually pops off, and Kick-Ass becomes well known. It's all over
crazy
the
on
news,
YouTube.
they're selling his costume at comic stores, everything. The next day, Dave has coffee with Katie, and they bring up Kick-Ass, and she says she's actually been thinking of emailing him to help her because of her ex-boyfriend Rasul, who has apparently been hitting her and won't leave her alone. So that night, Dave puts the suit on and goes to visit Rasul. He pulls up on him and he tells him to leave her alone or else he's gonna break his fucking legs. And Rasul's like, yo, who the fuck are you? But before he can do anything, Dave tases him right in the forehead.
Yo, what about his mans in the back? They don't got no guns. Look at this shit,
Men
like a
then
fucking
grab
trap house.
Dave, but before he can die, third day on the job, Mindy, who goes by Hit Girl, packs Rasul up. She then goes
Mindy, man.
on to ruthlessly pack up everyone in this room, and I can't show like any of it, bro, I'm sorry. After she does all that, she tells Dave to just chill out, they're on the same team. And as she's doing this, another dude tries sneaking up on her but gets sniped by her dad, who goes by Big Daddy. Goated superhero name in my opinion. She grabs the cash, then jumps
just
from
saved
the
you,
roof.
Big
Dave's
Daddy?
trying to do all that, so he stays behind. He then goes home and realizes he's a scrub and not really cut out for this, and cries himself to sleep. That same night, Joe shows Frank a picture from one of his
Is
men's
that
phone
fucking
who died,
awesome?
and he says he thinks it's Kick-Ass who's been murking all their men. So Frank tells Joe that he wants him dead. No idea how they thought this was Kick-Ass. His costume is bright green and this is black. Not even remotely the same.
That's
but
Batman.
whatever.
Gift big, save big at Nordstrom.
Bro,
Ooh, big
bro,
gift
Google
energy.
Premium, bro. Google is taking everything. It pads. Shout out Google.
Up that night by Hit Girl and Big Daddy. They tell him that they found him through his IP address because
Oh,
of his
they do
MySpace
got
account.
Batman here.
They also tell him that they like him but don't trust him, and if he ever wants to contact them, he can just put on his MySpace that he's on vacation. They then dip out. The next day, Hit Girl and Big Daddy get all the names and addresses of Frank's men from this guy before packing him up. Then later on, a man breaks into Big Daddy's house and snoops around and finds one of his comics. The comic shows that Big Daddy, who's also known as Damon, and this guy, whose name is Marcus, worked for the police and were partners. But Frank wanted them gone, so he framed Damon for a crime he didn't do and was arrested and served hard time.
Oh,
This was
shit.
all hard on Damon's wife, so she killed herself, but her
Woo!
baby Mindy survived, and Marcus took over as her guardian while Damon was in prison. And then when Damon got out of prison, he started training Mindy so they can take revenge on Frank, and this is how they became vigilantes. Damon finds him snooping, and Marcus tells him that Frank is looking for Kick-Ass and has guys on the inside, so he needs to be careful. We then cut to Frank riding around when he sees Kick-Ass just walking around in broad daylight. He pulls up on him in an alley, head kicks him, beats him up a little, and shoots him. Turns out, that was just some fan impersonating him. Chris overhears all this, so he decides to tell his dad.
Nigga, how unlucky can you be? Nigga, how unlucky can you be that you put it? You're like, I actually fuck with this superhero. Like, people like Batman, some people like Superman. I like Kick-Ass. Walk around the streets of your friendly neighborhood, just snapping everyone up, having a great time. And you just happen to see this mafia lord, nigga just beats your ass and kills you, bro.
That he has a plan on how they could take out Kick-Ass.
That's crazy.
And gives him a note of all the things that he'll need. Later on, while Dave and his friends are at the comic store, they see on TV that there's a new hero going by Red Mist. And all his friends and Katie think this new hero is way cooler. So Dave goes home and tries on a cape, which is just not it. And then when checking his laptop, he sees he got a message to meet up with Red Mist. So later that night, they meet up. And Red Mist was nearly on all fours slurping his shit, talking about, dude, I'm your biggest fan.
Wow. Hey, really?
Yeah, he fell for it. He's probably bricked up too. Red Mist shows him the Mistmobile, and they ride around for a bit before Red Mist tells him that he
The
knows a certain girl who
Mistmobile.
mailed him saying that some guy's been following her and they should check it out. He then shoots Mikey, who's one of Frank's men, a text saying they're on their way. But when they pull up to the spot, they see it's on fire. They run in and find a bunch of dead bodies. Red Mist then grabs this teddy bear, and then they both get out of there. And Dave's like, dude, why'd you save the teddy bear?
I don't know, man. Come on.
Fair enough. Frank thinks Kick-Ass calls all this, but Chris barges in and tells him that he needs to watch this. They plug in the bear, which was apparently a camera, and watch footage of Big Daddy coming in and absolutely destroying everyone in the warehouse with ease while bullets bounce off of him before lighting the place on fire. Chris tells them that he thinks Kick-Ass might know who this guy is, and Frank tells his men to spread the word about this guy. Marcus calls Damon and warns him that he heard from
They got
inside that
fucking
they're on
Batman
him. So
coming in.
Damon tells Mindy it's finally time to take out Frank D'Amico. The next day, Dave decides
that
it's time to
badass
stop being a
little kid.
hero, but
That
he's gonna
little-
do one more thing. He sneaks into Katie's room that
This
night.
movie's
to surprise her,
actually
I guess.
so
Probably
fucking
not
funny.
the best idea. Katie turns around and sprays him with hairspray, and before she can smack him with a bat, he reveals it's him. He apologizes and also makes it very clear that he's not into dudes. And this somehow leads to them sitting on her bed, and he ends up laying some pipe down on her.
My man.
The next day, Damon plans on how to get into Frank's building, and Mindy says she found something. But
Nigga,
it's
you're
three
telling me all I gotta do is walk around the streets with a fucking costume and I could bag a badass. What the fuck is this nigga wearing, bro? How is she into that shit? Yeah.
$300,000.
Add to shopping cart.
Yeah, Big Daddy's got it like that. Over at the comic store,
Wait, what?
Dave seems to get into Frank's building, and Mindy says she found something, but it's $300,000.
Add to shopping cart.
Yeah, Big Daddy's got it like that. Over at the comic store, Dave seems
How
to
the
be
fuck you
doing
got so
well with
much
Katie,
money?
considering they up and leave just to do it outside. Dave also tells us that he promised Katie his hero days are over since she was worried about him, but he finds a bunch of emails from Red Mist, so he tells her he's got to do one more hero thing. He meets up with Red Mist, and Red Mist tells him that the people at the warehouse are friends with some bad people, and those bad people think that they smoked the people in the warehouse. So he asks Dave if he knows anyone who can help. So Dave puts on vacation on his MySpace for Damon, who tells them to meet at Safe House B. Red Mist and Dave head over there, and Damon gets suited up in a pretty cool bathroom shot. They get to the spot, walk in, and Red Mist immediately shoots Hit Girl out the window. Then his men come in, tase Big Daddy, and take both Kick-Ass and him. And one of the men grab the bazooka that's on the wall. That's important to know for later. The news is spread that Kick-Ass will be announcing his
What
retirement
the
live,
fuck?
and so obviously everyone is tuning in to watch this. But it opens up and shows Big Daddy and Dave tied up with a bunch of masked men surrounding them. They beat them up using different weapons like brass knuckles and bats before it gets cut off the air, so everyone scrambles to find it themselves online. And Dave tells us that even with his messed up nerve endings, that shit did not feel good. The masked men then pour gas on them, but the lights cut out, and Hit Girl starts taking people out while using night vision.
How the fuck is
She
Rich
starts
still
clearing
alive?
the whole room, but during the chaos, they manage to light Big Daddy on fire. Hit Girl's able to take out the remaining men and shoot the camera, but it's a little late for her dad, and he dies from his burns. She then drives Dave back to her place, and Dave cleans himself up in the
Bro, this girl's like 12 years old, guys. How is she doing all this shit?
bathroom while she packs
What
up
kind
a
of
bunch
demon did
weapons.
they fucking
Dave
raise?
comes out and is like, yo, what are you doing? We're done. But she tells him she's not finished till Frank is gone, and Dave reluctantly agrees to help. She then shows Dave what he's going to use to get into the building and tells him he better start reading the instructions for it. We then cut to Frank's building where everyone's on high alert, sorta, not really. But the men at the front desk see a little girl at the door, and they're not supposed to let anyone in, but they let her in because she looks scared and lost. Big mistake. The dude offers his phone so she can call her parents, but she puts a gun in his mouth and shoots everyone in the room. She then takes the elevator upstairs and easily murks the 3 dudes guarding the elevator. The other men in the building hear the commotion,
I'm
so they
telling
go
you,
to check it
women
out.
are
The Hit Girl turns the
are like
corner and
man's
starts shooting
biggest
everyone in the
demise.
hall, jumping on the bookshelf and shooting, dodging
Always
bullets.
fall for
Literally,
them.
she dodged a bullet.
Who the fuck can do that?
She reloads while running and continues to clear the hall solo dolo and dodges another bullet. How the fuck is she
This
doing
should have
that? This
been
chick is
Kick-Ass.
ridiculous. She runs out of ammo and throws the gun at the last guy, kicks him, takes his gun, but he's also out of ammo. And there's more men coming up the elevator, so she runs and hides. Mind you, while all this is happening, Frank, Chris, and their big bodyguard are all tucked away and listening to this while sweating absolute bullets. Frank tells the guard to go out there and check what's going on, so he goes out there, and they're all like, dude, we got her trapped, but we're not trying to go out there. So they force the dude in the front to go, and he lights up the entire kitchen. Then he gets stabbed twice.
I'm getting the bazooka.
The big guard runs back and is like, it's alright boss, it's getting handled. And he grabs the bazooka. He brings it out and is about to shoot, but they hear something. They turn and see my boy Dave flying up with a motherfucking jetpack with guns. He then proceeds to
What
start
the
Swiss
fuck?
cheesing everyone in the room.
Yo,
They then roll up to Frank's
who
office together.
screenwrited
And
this
Red Mist
movie,
takes
bro?
on Dave, while Hit Girl takes Frank. And
This
she immediately
movie's
gets spitting
funny
back
as-
kick to the face. Good lord. He tries to stomp her, but she moves out of the way and starts dodging him, runs up the wall and does a backflip, then jumps on him and starts landing juicers. He grabs her and pins her to the wall, and she smacks him with a glass. And while this is happening, Dave is going at it with Red Mist, and not much is happening here. It's pretty much just two geeks playing patty cake together, and they eventually somehow knock each other out.
You serious?
That's an A for effort, though, from Dave. Hit Girl then finds a knife and stabs Frank
Yo,
a couple times. but
this
gets
is the
thrown
first
to
time he
the
knocks
table.
somebody out.
He then starts beating the snot out of her and grabs his gun to finish the job. But before he can do so, Dave wakes up, grabs the bazooka, and shoots Frank with the bazooka out the window. Dave then picks up Hit Girl, and they fly away. The film ends with them landing on a rooftop and Hit Girl revealing her secret identity and thanking Dave. And then they all go about their lives. So, yeah, that was kick-ass. Let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, I know that. I seen this movie when I was like 8 years old, like probably like or 10, 12, bro. That I did not remember this. But anyways, hope you guys like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.